Of course, everything I had planned this week changes up. Why? I'll tell you why. That's just the way it goes. Monster, what's up? So, essentially, we'll wait for some people to come in. We're going to be taking a look at 4 against the great old ones. Now, this is by our good friend Andrea, who did 4 against darkness. Okay. This is annoying. I'm looking at myself on one side and looking at myself at the other. Okay. I just got to get used to it because all I care about is the chat there. Okay. So, to get back to it, Andrea, who did 4 against darkness, Alone against fear, 4 against Mars, 99% of the supplements that are just glorious for 4 against darkness. But this time he brought in who I consider someone who really inspired War and Pieces, and that's Marco, formerly known as the War Gamer. Okay, he now goes as Marco the Omni Gamer, and he is very. I believe he's a professor or something like that. I don't know too much about him. I did like watching his war game videos, and many years ago, I decided to, do War and Pieces and things like that, which were a lot of fun on my channel. But he had a hand in writing this, and I will tell you this much, okay? This guy is just phenomenal. You definitely, this is a game that you are definitely going to want to download. I'm going to show you everything about it. I got completely thrown off by this for against the old ones. I happened to get a copy, so I printed it out. But I want to show you what else we got, and we'll talk about how the week will go. Kabuki, how are you? All right, so Tommy Clay, how are you? HD, in HD, how are you? Do we have anybody over in Twitch? Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Oh, God, everything just today. I don't care about hype or whatever. Okay, we got one person over in Twitch, so we're off to a good start. All right, I think I said hi to everybody. Okay, let us go. Where did the thing go? Oh, there we go. All right, there we go. All right, so we're going to go over this today. We're going to create our characters. I'm going to explain everything about this and what makes this different from everything else. Tommy's doing good. I'm doing all right, Tommy. I'm doing all right, my brother. So we're going to take a look at this. And, okay, what happened there? That was weird. Oh, is my head causing? Yeah, probably. All right, so I'm just going to push this up a little bit. Totally unprofessional as always. What else did you expect, right? So I have a piece of paper under here so I can do my usual, because that makes it just so much easier if I just, on my soccer field, push that up a little bit. All right, where's that? That's probably good right about there. Okay. Because I like to do all my writing here so you guys can see what I'm doing. And we're just going to turn this camera up a little bit. There we go. So my head doesn't cause it not to focus in. All right. Sorry about that, folks. All right. So we're going to go over it today. We are going to make a few adjustments. Okay. And things like that. We'll make some heroes. I'll explain everything so you guys can run out and go get it. And then we are going to do a live play Wednesday. Okay. Tomorrow, we are going to be taking a look at Frostgrave, the 2nd edition. We're going to go over the book. We're going to go over everything. And then Friday, we're going to do a live play. There we go. Because Thursday we paint. All right. Sounds like a pretty busy week, doesn't it? Remember yesterday I was talking about all these other things. Okay, we don't want to talk about this now because we don't want to get and mess up Andrea's phenomenal, phenomenal book here. What the hell is going on up there? That I'm just getting this weird focus thing. At least that's the way I see it. I think it just focuses in on my hat. Okay. All right. So I printed this out. You can get this drive-through RPG. Okay. Another phenomenal undertaking by, this just does things that you could not believe. All right, so I laminated a couple of sheets here. Location checklist. You're going to need this, okay? Also, this map. This map is very important, okay? Because this is where you're going to be going throughout everything. And as you can see some of the usual suspects. Let me move this over here now. Back over here where I had planned on putting it. Okay, there we go. So let's do that. Boom. All right, there we go. Takes a little while to get just a little professional. That's all. Okay, so your map is, as you can see, New Orleans, Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York. But you have the usual suspects, because when you end up in Boston, guess what? It's Salem, Dunwich, the Backwoods, Arkham, which we all know too familiar, Kingsport, another one, Innsmouth. All right, all these play a big part in this. These numbers here are days, how many days it takes you. So to get to New York to San Francisco, it's going to take you 5 days. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? Don't worry, that's why I'm here. I'm going to explain it all. All right, I'm going to explain it all. But take a look at this and remember this, okay? Now, you're going to take 4 characters with you, okay? So, as you can see, it's your basic sheet that you have from 4 Against Darkness, okay? You're only going to be able to carry 2 weapons and 2 antiquities, I believe. 2 artifacts, excuse me, I'm sorry. You can each have a helper, up to 4 maximum. You can never go over 4 helpers. You can never go over 4 characters. Helpers can help fight, but they cannot fight bosses or the final confrontation, the old ones. They are useless, and they only use what they come with. You cannot equip any of your helpers. Okay, we got that so far? Cool. All right, let's take a look at this bad boy. All right, yeah, I'm gonna show it this way a bit, and we're gonna go over all this stuff, and I really want you guys to pay attention and see what we have here. I mean, this is just absolutely Marco is brilliant to begin with, okay? His reviews are very clean. I used to love when he did all the wargaming stuff, but what I saw in here and what I read was absolutely phenomenal, okay? So you're going to see some usual mechanics here, but I don't want you to just go, oh, another 4 Against Darkness spin-off. This is different. This has some different feel to it, and it is very thematic. You got to trust me on this. Glowing Turtle, what's up, my brother? All right, let's get into it. Okay. Of course, like every other thing that they've ever done, everything is just wherever you need it, it's there and it's spelled out for you. It's done very well. It's an introduction. This is the introduction. No big deal, right? Okay. Your characters, again, like I stated earlier, you're going to get 4 investigators. Sanity is going to play a part in this, as well as life. Okay, so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that very soon. Investigators, you can never have more than 4 at the same time. They are your main and most powerful characters. They can acquire equipment, fight bosses, and level up. Key word there, level up. Okay, so stay with me with that. Okay. You can also have 4 helpers in addition to your investigators. Okay, you start without any helpers. So as you go to these different areas, you're going to be able to get different helpers, and you're going to decide which ones you're going to want to take with you. You want to use them as sacrificial lambs, unfortunately. We're not going to worry about that. Length of game, they say the game is basically under an hour to 30 minutes, okay? Exploding dice, like every other game, we have exploding dice. The enemies don't roll dice. Setup is very simple. You're just going to need a bunch of these, as usual, okay? 6-sided dice, a pencil, an eraser, and let's see, what else you're going to need? Dice. Okay, so you're going to determine your starting location by rolling a d6. So essentially, you're going to roll a d6, and the way that's going to happen is you got New York, Providence, Boston, Salem, Arkham, and Chicago. So you roll 1d6, and that's exactly where you're going to start. So 3, of course, we're going to start in Boston. Why not, right? Why not? So we got our little marker here, and that's why I do everything laminated, so I can dry erase it. Okay. All right. Then you're going to pick you're going to pick your party. Okay, and this is where it gets interesting, the different types of characters that you're going to be able to have. Okay, looks very familiar, right? Right? Maximum life, you start with 3 plus your level. So every time you go up a level, your life starts up. So if you start at level 1, it's 3 plus 1 equals 4 life. Sanity. Sanity plays a big part in this, okay? Big part in this. So it's going to be sanity 4 plus your level. So you start with 5 sanity, right? The occultist can be damaged by incorporeal enemies, which means ghosts, at a rate of 1 wound per hit. Starting equipment, you're going to start with a cane. Preferred weapons, regular. So there is a list that you can pick from as far as regular. Test, add level to all occult tests, because you're going to be asked to go through, do different tests that are going to test you have the possibility of losing sanity or life, kind of just like any other Arkham game. The occultist learns 1 spell per level. He starts with 1 spell, so there's a list of spells that you can start with. So that makes him very interesting. I think you have to have him, or I believe it's her, because you're going to want to be able to exercise demons and spirits. Spirits are going to be a pain in the neck in this. She starts with a knife. You have a medium. You're going to have a nurse. That's going to have different types of ability. The guy I'm looking at is, I kind of want this professor. I kind of like him. I like maybe taking the medium with me. I'm kind of torn on that. A spy you can have. The veteran, always solid, 6 plus level. That's your tank right there. He's 7. But his sanity makes you a little scared because he starts off with a 4 sanity. The veteran adds his level to all attack rolls. That's always key. Always key. Always key. You have a chance to get the gangster or the private detective. You kind of, this guy really kind of very balanced. He starts off with a gun and some brass knuckles. You gotta love that. So he's gonna come out firing. Helpers, you're gonna find them along the way. Enemies are always 1. Vermin are 1 life each. Minions, they have 1 life each, and you gain 1 experience for every 10. Sounds familiar? Yeah, it does. But don't worry, it gets very, very different. Okay, you're using the core rules here of the core rules of For Against Darkness. Excuse me, I just gotta grab something to drink. We're live. I mean, what do you expect, right? Oh, okay. All investigators and most helpers have a sanity rating. From time to time, the text is going to instruct you to test sanity, indicated by the difficulty of the test. If the indication simply says test sanity, then all investigators and helpers in the encounter must test. The character testing sanity rolls a d6 and adds or subtract any modifiers. If the total is equal to or higher than the difficulty of the test is passed, and there is no effect. Now, this game is going to test you. It's going to test you. It's not going to be a cakewalk. So don't expect to be able to just mow through this. This will test you. This is another fantastic game. Let's see. If sanity reaches a 0 or below, the character becomes insane. Helpers are immediately removed from the game with all their equipment, and an insane investigator is immediately removed from the game. And the remaining investigators can pick up and redistribute its equipment. So you don't want your dude going insane, okay? Now, the thing of this is, okay, and we'll get to this, activities, traveling, it explains how you're going to travel. If you go to Boston, New York, you're going to spend 2 days. You are allotted 40 days in this game, okay, to accomplish what you have to do. 40 days, that's it. So if you want to travel around, like I said, you're starting in Boston. Say you want to go to San Francisco. Well, that's going to cost a little bit of time because you're going to try to find the quickest way to get there, and there's no easy way to get there. So you're going to go to Chicago, which is going to cost you 3 days. You're going to go to St. Louis, which is going to cost you a day. That's 4. And then you're going to go down to San Francisco, which is going to cost you 3. That's 7 out of your 40 days just to travel to these points. You might as well stop along the way and see if you can find what you need. You need 3 clues to fight the old one and close the gates. Okay. Let's just keep going here. Rest, equipment, recruits, combat. It's the same as it is with anything else. I'm going to give you an example. The simple indication, D6 cultists means that you roll a die to determine how many cultists you would face. So let's just say that we roll. Okay, we're going to face 4 cultists. Okay, if they are level cultists, and then you begin combat against them. Combat is divided into rounds. Each is divided into an attack phase, when your character acts, and a defense phase. Okay, when your character acts, and a defense phase, when the enemies attack. The enemies don't roll any dice ever. Okay, say you're facing like we rolled 4 level 3 cultists. So I'm going to write that down here. So I want to make sure you guys understand. L4 level 3, and we're facing 4 cultists. So each of them only need to take you've got to beat this number to inflict 1 wound. So your combat number, okay, so let's say that you get a +1 for let's see here. Each attack, you choose an investigator or helper. I just want to make sure that we do this right. Some attacks have a penalty, like weapons like knives, baseball bats, or hammers are considered standard of combat, and using them in combat yields no bonuses or penalties. Mighty weapons like guns or swords grant a +1 to your attack roll. So take like the veteran. He gets a +1 for his level. Then he's going to swing with, let's just say he has a sword. He's going to get +2. Okay? So now he's going to get +2 to his roll on D6. So we're going to roll a D6. And we get a 1. Okay? 1s are always a fail, I believe. Okay? So let's roll again. All right, he gets a 3. 3 plus the 2 is 5. Okay? Now, we need to get equal or do more to defeat one of our enemies. So we need a 3 or more. Okay, so we've got the 3, and we add the 2, that's 5. Well, those extra 2 get wiped out because all we can do is hurt 1. And we inflict 1 wound, which leaves us with 3. Okay? Now, say we were fighting those 4 cultists, and I rolled a 6. Plus the 2 is 8. All right, you got what I'm saying so far? Okay? So, 6 plus 2 is 8, but that's an exploding die. That means you're going to get to roll it again. And we roll a 5. So the 8 plus 5 more is 13. So now, how many times does 3 go into 13? That's right, it goes 4. Okay, and we have 1 left over. That would wipe out the entire bunch of cultists. Okay? So they wouldn't even get an attack back. Our defense, now you can have the minuses for defense. Say we're fighting a level 3 thing. We have to roll and say we have no modifier. They attack and they do 1 damage. Well, we rolled a 4, okay? We beat their 3. All we have to do is hit the 3 or more, and we have defended against that particular attack. If there's 4 of them, we're going to spread them out amongst our investigators, okay? And what that's going to do is each one is going to have to test against them and see how many wounds that they would acquire. Combat and defense make sense? I think so. Let's hope so. We already explained that. We explained that. Enemies' morale. Vermin. Vermin are always going to try to run. But minions and bosses, nah, not so much. Not so much. Now, what we're going to try to do is always get XP to level up our party. We want to level up our guys because we're going to be able to do so much more. Okay? And we'll go over that as we play. Equipment, each investigator can carry 2 arcane items and 2 weapons. And that's it. Okay? There are some exceptions. Spells, these are only for, like we talked about. What's up, Wen Schultz? How are you? So vermin are basically kobolds and well, yeah, pretty much. Okay, so again, the way you lose the game is if everybody goes insane, everybody dies, or 40 days go by and you did not reach the final encounter. You have to reach the final encounter in 40 days. Okay? You have 40 days. Investigators need to collect 3 clues to be able to access the final encounter, in which they will attempt to prevent the summoning of a world-destroying cosmic horror. And here's what you're going to roll on 2 dice. Let's see who we would end up. Hopefully it's somebody I can pronounce. 7, which would... Of course it's the one guy. There's no way I'm going to pronounce that guy. Okay, all right. Nylalothrop, whatever. Okay, great. Wow, nice. All right, next. Okay, so that's the way you want to do it. You want to get these 3 clues. You can discard any 3 arcane items. There are 3 ways to gain clues in the game. You can discard any 3 arcane items. You can discard 2 copies of the same arcane item. For example, 2 silver keys. The text tells you that you have acquired a clue. When you gain a clue, roll a d6 and make a note of the result. After you collect 3 clues, you add the resulting numbers together and consult the table below. Okay? Wow. Okay. So every clue that you're going to get, you're going to roll a die. That's a 3. Okay? Then you get another clue, okay? You're going to roll that. That's 9. And then finally, that's going to be 13. So we would face this particular thing. So you roll each time. Really neat little mechanism there. I like that because each clue is going to build up. So if you roll a 1, you go, oh God, please. A 1. Now you're hoping that you roll a 1 because then you could take on Dagon. which is no easy task either. But as you can see, you can end up fighting Cthulhu, Yaga, Sugar, and Dargon, and some of the other, as you can see, familiar cosmic horrors that you can possibly run into. Really neat little mechanism as you get your clues. Nari Othep. Thank you, Ren Schultz. So again, it becomes this thing where as you are finding clues, you start to figure out who you're going to end up facing. And maybe you can kind of prepare a little bit ahead if you face these guys before. Personally, I doubt it. Okay. When you acquire a third clue, you'll determine the identity of the being summoned. Look up that identity section and then go to the final encounter. Okay. The game, and like I spoke before, but I'm going to read this anyways. The game can end in one of three ways. All investigators are dead and or insane at the same time. You lose the game. You recorded 40 days in your log before entering the final encounter. You lose the game. You successfully complete a final encounter in 40 days or less. Congratulations, you win the game. Good luck. There's a way to make this a little easier as well. I'm sorry, I keep moving the book. You can use an 8-sided die instead of a 6-sided die. Personally, this is the home of the permadeath. See, every time I say that, the dogs bark like crazy. Okay, this is the home of the permadeath, and you know we're gonna play it on hard all the time because that's how we roll. Let's see if there's anything else. Okay, now let's talk about these locations here. Okay. Okay, they're just gonna keep barking. I thought that was my wife coming on. Okay, so here we have Arkham. Okay, if you started in Arkham, you would roll a die. Okay. Well, let me take a look here. I just want to make sure I'm telling you the right thing. Locations. Okay. Investigate 1 day per encounter. So you can investigate an encounter here once per day. So you're going to roll and you're going to see where you end up. Okay, there we go. I just yelled all the way across the house. Yeah, German Shepherds. I got 2 of them. They don't listen. Somebody dropped something at the front door. So, again, here we go. So, activities that you can do here. You can rest, equip, recruit, investigate. Rest. Each investigator recovers 1 life or 1 sanity per day. So, if you take a day to rest, remember, you only got 40 days. So if you take that day to rest, you are going to thus have issues. You're going to determine where you're going to go. You're going to roll on here, and you're going to investigate. I'm not going to ruin any of this for you yet because we're going to do this. But I just want to show you the different locations, some of the tremendous art here. The backwoods. The only activity that you can do in the backwoods is investigate. Okay, so again, roll a d6, see what happens. Big Cypress Swamp, same thing. You're going to decide, and you're going to investigate. What I did on the other side here, as you can see, there are certain places that you can investigate here. And what you're going to do is you want to, if you don't want to mark an X in the recruit section and the encounter tables in the book, you can use this player aid instead. In order to avoid spoilers, we are not sharing the contents of the encounters. And that's exactly what I don't want to do, because we want to do this. Boston's a major hub, So again, you're going to be able to rest, do all the things that you really need to do, and you have a chance to encounter here. You have the Catskill Mountains. Again, I don't want to ruin all this because we are going to do all this. All right. Let me see. New York, Providence. Look at the art. I mean, the art's just tremendous here. Okay. This one looks so much fun. Love me some H.P. Lovecraft. Yeah, this is going to be phenomenal. Salem, San Francisco. Again, I don't want to ruin everything. Then you're going to St. Louis. Right, figure St. Louis. Final Encounters. Now, I don't want to ruin this either, but here you are going to you're going to have to negotiate the final encounter, and these things are not easy. Dagon. I'm not even going to pronounce half these names. Hopefully, we're going to be able to get some that we can prefer. The ceremonial cavern that has stuff to do with things. Hold on here. Let's keep going here. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on here. Clearing of the Black Goat. Dreamland table. Gate tables. There's a ton of tables that you are going to be... the arcane table, item table. So you're going to be able to kind of get different type of arcane items. You're going to want to look for that. And here's the things that I printed out that I laminated, as you can see. And there we go. All right. Boom. Just like that. So, hold on here. Let me go up top. All right, there we go. So as you see, another phenomenal offering. Another phenomenal offering by Andrea, and with the help of Marco. The Omni Gamer now. I liked it better when he called himself what was it? The War Gamer, I believe he called himself. Yes, it was Marco the War Gamer. But now he's the Omni Gamer because he does a little of everything. Plus, I bet you his kids are getting a little older and they're playing a lot more things. But really spectacular. We're going to give this the complete. Perhaps the dogs barking are because you are challenging an elder god. Yeah, pretty much. That or somebody dropped off a package. This one looks like so much fun. Love me some HP. I've read that already. Glowing Turtle loves it as well. Yeah, Marco the War Gamer, Kabuki says. So we're gonna do this live. I'm gonna take you guys on an adventure. If you guys want to do it yourself, go to Drive Through RPG. Support Andrea, who has been nothing but fantastic to this channel. Been nothing but fantastic to all of us by creating some just phenomenal experiences. And that, to me, is the thing that really holds here. It didn't take a Kickstarter. It didn't take 15 expansions all together for an extra thing. They put it together. They put it out there, and you have everything that you have to have a very entertaining evening solo, or you could possibly have some friends with you. Let them roll their own dice. You could play this with 4 people very easily. This is a phenomenal experience. Okay? You don't want to break out Cthulhu War, okay, all the time to set it up. You don't want to break out your edition of Arkham Horror, which Richard Launius, please forgive me, but this is one of my favorite games is Arkham Horror, and I love it. I love the complexity. I love everything about it, but we all know that it does take a while to set up. Hold on, are there any simpler ones that you would recommend for a beginner? I think this is fine for a beginner, Ren Schultz. I think this is fine for a beginner. This is going to test you, and and that's a good thing. You want to be tested. It's going to keep you coming back. The replayability is amazing. Okay, they did it with 4 Against Darkness. They did it with Mars, Alone Against Fear, and now this. And Marco, with his lore and everything that he pours into this, is really going to make this a phenomenal experience. So I highly suggest you go over. Can you play it by yourself? Absolutely. I'm going to be playing it by myself live here on Rob's Tabletop World. That's going to be on Wednesday, I believe. Yeah, I said Wednesday, didn't I? Yeah, Wednesday. We could set up characters, but you know something? I'll have everything ready for you. It's really easy because all you're doing is copying everything that's in the book, getting it onto your sheet so you can just get rolling. Okay. So I was thinking of putting all the characters down, but I'll tell you what we can do, which would be kind of fun. How about if, with your help, we decide which characters we're gonna use, okay? And then I'll fill in all the junk later. How's that? So let's take a look. I'm gonna pick the first one. I'm gonna go to the other look here. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna pick the first one, and I think I pretty much have an idea who I want the first character to be. So I'm gonna give you a look. All right, it's the occultist, the medium, the nurse. Okay, we're going to put together a team. The professor, but let me pick first. Okay. But I think you guys know who I'm going to pick. The spy, the veteran, the gangster, and the private detective. Now listen. What is a Cthulhu game without a private detective? So I'm going to put him on the bottom here. Private detective. Private. Now, tell me, we're going to see who we want to do for the other three. Character type, pissed off. Sanity is 4. I'll fill in all the other good stuff. Maximum life, he's at 6 life. Oh. That's why we do this on here. Life is 6. He's level 1. Okay. All right, so let's see. Zeblik says the professor. Do we take the professor and not take the gangster or the veteran? Do we take the professor? Okay, we have one for the professor. Let's see if we get any more feel for the professor. So let's see what everybody kind of picks out. Indiana Jones. That's not a bad thing. New Troll says professor. Steph, what's up? We've got 2 for the professor. One more, I'll lock that professor in. One more, I'll lock that professor in. We haven't had Kabuki kick in, which is kind of, unless she's on a meeting. What's his bonuses? He starts with 4 life plus 1 plus his level is 5. His maximum sanity is 6. So he's kind of interesting. Professor adds plus level to his own lore tests. Dr. Jones. Looks like it's a professor. Oh, we got to give them names. That's what the problem is here. Hold on here. Where's my paper towel? Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, let's call him Dr. Jones. I like that. Valerie, how are you? Okay, I put that in the wrong place. So our private detective is going to be Sam Spade. Or we'll call him Sam S. for copyright reasons. Sam S. Okay. He is a private detective. This is our professor. And I think we have to call him Dr. Jones. Dr. Ian McCullum. Now we're going with Dr. Jones. Come on. We're going to need Dr. Jones in this. Dr. Jones. Okay. Now, writing lefty with dry erase has to be tricky. It sure is. It sure is. Okay, so we got a professor, we got the private detective. Now we just got to pick two more. We got to pick two more. So do we go with the spy, the nurse, the medium, the occultist? She's just a doggone creepy, if you ask me. Nurse for the third, Zeblik says. Steph says nurse. And remember, we got the gangster and the veteran. We do need a tank. I don't think Dr. Jones is going to tank us up. He's going to have 5 life, but 6 sanity. 5 life, 6 sanity, and level 1. It's looking nurse. Good, thanks. Watching your stream while WFH. Okay, veteran. Monster says veteran. If we get one more for the nurse, we can then decide between the gangster and the. I think the gangster. Zeblik says nurse. I think all right. We'll go nurse. Everybody kind of agree with the nurse. We could use somebody that can help us. It's so hard for me to write with my hand as bad as it is. Okay, nurse. Sounds good, Zeblik. Okay, we can go in Nightingale. Unless somebody says no. In Gale. And this is where the fun becomes, because you really start to get attached to your characters. Alright, somebody's got to pick a tank. So let's get a couple of votes for the tank. Meanwhile, I'll just fill in some of the basic stats here. She starts with 5 life, which is pretty good, but her sanity, I don't know, her sanity's pretty solid at 4. Level 1. We have a level 1 nurse. Okay. Alright, so should we go with the veteran or the gangster? Or the medium? But I think we need a tank in here somewhere. He's gonna... The veteran adds his level to all attacks. I think that's going to be key early on. And where we kind of have Dr. Jones to kind of help us with the occult stuff. Zeblik says veteran. What does Kabuki say? Well, Monster went veteran. So that's 2. We get one more veteran, we're in there. G.I. Joe. Yeah, we could do that. We can call him P.I. Joe. Oh, Steph comes in there and shakes everything up. We've got 2 veterans and a gangster. Oh, there goes Valerie. Valerie confirmed it. We go veteran. Gangster had a chance there for a minute. Oops. Okay. The veteran. We're going to need him. He's got to be solid. Heard my name, but I am in a conversation here and missed too much. McQueen. Oh, yeah. That would be kind of cool. Steve McQueen. All right, let's call him McQueen. I like that. McQueen. He's seen some hard times, folks. He's going to start with 7 life. He's going to start with 4 sanity. And he is level 1. Get this. When operating flamethrower, the veteran sees +3 in attack instead of +1. Nice. See, he's starting equipment, bayonet, and rifle. Preferred weapons. He can have anything. Special. Can never be chosen to test for occult lore. See, he's just a tank. That's what we need. We needed a tank. Okay. So we'll fill in all the rest of the data. I'll take care of that off camera. Flame on, brother. It's like Johnny Storm. That's what we should call him, Johnny Storm. All right, so there we are. We've got the very basis that we need. All right. We got everything out. Tomorrow, we are going to be going over the second edition of Frostgrave and all the changes and all the good things that I mean, some of you might be going, oh God, no, please. And, you know, I love the first edition. What does the second edition need? Stick with me, folks. Stick with me. In the meantime, I'll tell you, you don't need a lot of big, huge box games. Like I should talk. When you have stuff like this, okay? 4 Against Darkness, 4 Against the Great Old Ones, Frostgrave, you know, I can go on, D100, all this stuff. You know, this is where your creativity comes in. Okay? Okay, we got the nurse, we got the veteran, good one, Ren. This is where your creativity really comes in. And really, because, you know, all we need is just some dice, some paper, and we can create our own game and our own experience. And that's what makes these games so special and so fantastic. And have Marco, you know, really get involved in this, really, really just cool. I mean, what can't the guy do, you know? Professor, great war gamer, great explanation, YouTube channel. I mean, jeez. All right, why am I doing this? I mean, he's done it all. All right, guys. There you go. We did it in under an hour, just like I had hoped. We had a nice explanation of everything. We got everything all nice and tight here. And we are going to be ready for Wednesday when we take this on a ride. So join me Wednesday afternoon. Wednesday afternoon, as we will be doing 4 Against the Great Old Ones. Hopefully we can win. It should take about an hour, hour and a half, because we're doing it on stream. So if you got the time, I hope you guys will join us, and we'll have a great time. I promise you that. Until tomorrow. Well, Kabuki, tell me what time, and I'll make sure I'll do it. We'll work around your schedule. You're such... I always like having you here. It always feels weird when you're not. What can I tell you? Just text me. Yeah, there you go. So, you know, get ready. We'll do this. Don't fuss for me. I'll listen to her. Oh, please, don't fuss for me. Of course we're going to fuss for you. You're as important as anybody else on this channel, dearie. All right. Listen, love you all. Have a great Monday afternoon. Tomorrow I got a really interesting video going up I think you'll like. Okay. It is, what is the greatest war game of all time? Think about it and watch the video. And then in the afternoon, we'll be breaking down Frostgrave. And then Wednesday, we are going to be playing, like I said, 4 Against the Old Ones. Thursday, we have our paint class. Friday, we are going to be playing some Frostgrave. All right, there we go. Until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon. Have a great evening, everybody. We'll see you later.